You know that phone in your hand? Or maybe it's in your pocket right now. Well, it's not just a piece of technology. It's a gold mine. And I mean that literally. It is packed with some of the most precious and, more importantly, limited resources our planet has to offer. Understanding what's actually inside is, believe it or not, totally key to our future.
So that brings up a pretty big question, right? What on earth does this little device have to do with the future of the entire planet? Well, the answer has everything to do with what it's made of. So let's dive in and unpack that.
To really get a handle on your phone's impact, we need to go back to basics. I mean, super basics. Everything we use, everything we build, it all comes from two fundamental types of stuff that the Earth provides.
Okay, so you've got two teams, basically. In one corner, you have renewable resources, and in the other, you have finite ones. And the difference between these two? It's probably the single most important part of this entire story.
A renewable resource is pretty much what it sounds like. It's something we can renew, something we can get more of relatively quickly. Think about wood, right? If we chop down a tree, we can plant another one. We can grow more. It's a cycle.
But then we've got finite resources. You might have heard them called non-renewable. And with these, once they're used up, they are gone forever. I mean, think about slate from a quarry. You can't just grow more rock. When that quarry's empty, that's it. And guess what our favorite electronics are absolutely full of?
And that brings us to a topic that's, well, a little intense. The resource countdown. Because for a lot of these finite materials, the clock is ticking. And you know what? It is ticking way faster than you probably think. Okay, so take a look at this. This table lays out some pretty eye-opening estimates for how many years we have left for some of these key resources. Now, that first column, that's if we just keep going as we are now. But the second column, that's what happens if our demand for them increases. And that's where the timeline starts to shrink a lot. And if our demand goes up, and let's be honest, it usually does, some of these countdowns get terrifyingly short. This isn't some far-off problem for our grandkids to solve. This is happening right now, in our lifetimes.
Let's just look at a few of these. Take natural gas. At an increased rate of use, we could run out in just 13 years.
For oil, it could be even less. We're talking a single decade.
And for something called indium, a metal that is absolutely essential for our touchscreens, also just 10 years. That's a huge problem for the technology that we all rely on every single day. So yeah, this isn't some abstract global problem about factories somewhere else. This is about the device in your hand, the one you're maybe even watching this on. Let's make that connection crystal clear.
So what even is indium? Well, it's this rare metal that's basically the magic ingredient that makes your touchscreen, well, touchable. It's what makes the screens on our phones, our tablets, our TVs work. Without it, the modern flat-screen display as we know it is in some serious trouble.
Because it's so important and so scarce, indium is officially classified as a critical mineral. Now, that's just a formal way of saying, hey, this stuff is absolutely essential to how our society works and, we're genuinely at risk of running out of it.
Now get ready for this, because it's a wild statistic. It's estimated that 1 in every 4 of us has 5 or more old cell phones just sitting around at home. I mean, think about that for a second. Think about your own house. We've got this massive, untapped mine of these critical minerals just hiding in our junk drawers.
This whole situation brings us to a major fork in the road, a fundamental choice we all have to face. With these resources running out, we really only have two options. Keep digging new holes in the ground, or get a whole lot smarter about using what we already have. And this lays out the two paths perfectly. Path number 1, we keep extracting new stuff. That means enormous amounts of energy and often destroying natural habitats. Path number 2, recycling, using the materials we've already pulled out of the earth. I mean, it seems like an obvious choice, but let's look at why. All right, so let's break down exactly why recycling is the clear winner here. I mean, it just blows the other option out of the water. And it's not just about saving the materials themselves. It's about saving incredible amounts of energy.
Let's take a simple aluminum can, for example. When you recycle it, it gets cleaned up, melted down, and reformed into a new sheet of aluminum. That can could be back on a supermarket shelf as a brand new product in as little as 60 days. That's crazy fast. It's an unbelievably efficient loop.
And the energy savings, they are staggering. So why is that? Well, when we mine brand new aluminum, we have to use massive amounts of electricity to basically rip the aluminum atoms away from the rock they're bonded to. But with a recycled can, all that hard work is already done. The atoms are pure, they're ready to go. All we have to do is melt and reshape them.
To really put that into perspective, here's a fact that just always blows my mind. The energy you save by recycling just one of these aluminum cans is enough to power your television for 3 hours. That's an entire movie from one can. And this idea works on a massive scale. Thanks to recycling, an incredible 75% of all the aluminum ever produced in history is still in use today. That is a phenomenal success story.
Which of course brings us all the way back to your phone. The success we've had with aluminum shows us what's possible. But a phone is way more complex than a can. It's like this tiny, super concentrated nugget packed with dozens of different materials. Gold, silver, palladium, and of course our critical friend indium, all fused together.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. There are literally millions of old phones sitting in drawers all over the world. The only question is, how do we choose to see them? Are they just junk, or are they the richest, most accessible treasure chests we have for building our future?